Recognizing the critical roles of the Ghana Prison Service, the Ghana Immigration Service, and the Ghana National Fire Service, President John Mahama underscored their responsibilities in maintaining order, upholding justice, and protecting lives and property. He emphasized that the efficiency directly impacts the well-being of Ghanaians, the rule of law, and Ghana's global reputation as a peaceful and stable nation.
The officer we've sworn in today and those we have appointed into acting positions are not newcomers to their respective agencies. They are seasoned professionals with years of experience, unwavering dedication, and a thorough understanding of the institutions they have now been appointed to head. Their track records speak for themselves, and I have every confidence that they will bring visionary leadership, innovative thinking, and a renewed sense of purpose to their roles.
The newly appointed Chief Fire Officer was directed to spearhead fire prevention efforts, enhance emergency response systems, and enforce fire safety regulations without compromise.
The Acting Chief Fire Officer, Daniela Mausin Tosapong, as Chief Fire Officer, your leadership must focus on prevention through public education, emergency response readiness, and strict enforcement of fire safety regulations. You have my full assurance that this administration will provide every necessary resource to ensure that the Ghana Fire Service is well equipped to protect lives and property.
For the new Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, the challenge ahead is to modernize Ghana's correctional system, shifting its focus from mere incarceration to rehabilitation.
Our new Director General of Prisons, Patience Baffoe-Bonnie, your appointment comes at a time when we're committed to modernizing our correctional system. The responsibility falls on you, Mrs. Baffoe-Bonnie, to lead the charge in transforming our prisons into true centers of reformation, not just centers of incarceration. You have my full support in this mission.
Addressing the responsibilities of the new Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, President Mahama stressed the importance of securing Ghana's borders against illegal activities.
For our new Comptroller General of the Ghana Immigration Service, Samuel Basintale Amadu, I charge you to intensify intelligence operations and work closely with other law enforcement agencies to dismantle human smuggling networks. Surveillance at all entry and exit points must be strengthened and modernized to detect and prevent illegal activity.
Prison Officer Patience Baffoe-Bonnie assured President Mahama of effective prison management.
For us in the Ghana Prison Service, we are also very much aware of the unique challenges facing correctional services in our part of the world, and your exceptional passion for the forgotten behind bars. In 2011, your government increased the inmate feeding rate to the current 1 cedi 80 pesos. And you also are on record for being the first and only sitting president who took time off your busy schedule to visit the prisoners at the Insawam medium security place. And they are hopeful that with the initial experience and the vision of the government today, every promise mentioned here will surely come true.
To the outgoing heads of the Ghana National Fire Service, the Prison Service, and the Immigration Service, President Mahama extended his sincere appreciation for their. The six-member board, chaired by the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Orban Bagbin, comprises the Minority Leader, Alexander Apenyomakin, Majority Leader, Mahama Yariga, Clerk to Parliament, Ebenezer Ahuma Jitro, former MP for Afajato South, Angela Ofori-Atta Alowute, and former MP for New Drabin South, Makasibe Yeboah. Two co-opted members, First Deputy Speaker Bernard Ahiafo and Second Deputy Speaker Andrew Esiama Mwaku, are expected to bring their expertise to the table.
I swear by the Almighty God.
Addressing members of the 9th Board and Management of Parliament, Speaker Orban Bagbin said securing the parliamentary enclave is a top priority.
There remain certain challenges that need to be addressed. One of these challenges is to secure the parliamentary enclave to ensure that safety and security of members and staff. This is vital in achieving uninterrupted and effective functioning of Parliament. I believe the NINE board will work assiduously to make this a reality.
The ceremony was followed by the inaugural meeting of the new board.
Mr. Speaker, there are two things that I look forward to seeing happen in the Ninth Parliament. One, a hospital for Parliament. We are a political class. Our health issues are to be known within certain confines. Because of confidentiality and all, people travel abroad at great cost for medical support. Indeed, when I visited the British Parliament, the Commons, even within the chamber, there is enhanced security. Here in the public gallery, anybody at all can throw anything at a member of Parliament. I am therefore looking forward to enhance security in the chamber and at least to depart from this old infrastructure, though it's fit for purpose. We can begin a conversation for a new chamber befitting of the legislative arm of government.
Right Honorable Speaker, I definitely don't believe that a hospital is the priority of this Parliament or should be the priority of this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, we are very close to the Rage Hospital, which I personally believe is adequate to provide the services that staff here will need. And I don't believe that at this stage, in the finances of this country, we should have a political class building a hospital especially for itself and not wanting to mingle with ordinary Ghanaians and the facilities that they use. So I totally reject a proposal to construct a hospital for Parliament. We have a clinic which is in keeping with what most establishments have, and I believe that if anything at all, we should just improve upon the facilities and services of our clinic. And Kulebu is not too far away from here. Now, on the issue of security, I do agree that we need to rethink the way that our compound is arranged, how that affects security and access to our offices and the chamber and etc. I don't think that the security issues warrant a discussion about constructing a new chamber, and that I totally reject as well. At this stage, when this country is confronted with multiple financial challenges.
A joint operation at the TEMA harbour led to the seizure of a mass consignment of unauthorized opioids pharmaceuticals. The intercepted drugs, labelled only as made in India without any manufacturer details, included 26 cartons of tapentadol 250 milligrams, 160 cartons of tafradol 120 milligrams, 320 cartons of chlorophenamine maleate, 400 cartons of Timakin tapentadol 120 milligrams, and 190 cartons of diazole loperamide 2 milligrams. Officials say the quantities and dosages of these drugs far exceed the limits set by the Food and Drugs Authority (FDA), raising serious concerns about their intended use. The Chief Executive of the Food and Drugs Authority, Dr. Mimi Darkon, highlighted a worrying trend of drug traffickers shifting from hard narcotics to high-strength prescription drugs. She said the seizure is evident of a growing trend where drug traffickers exploit the relatively lenient penalties associated with prescription drug abuse. Though the shipment was documented as being in transit to Niger, authorities say it was not properly declared, constituting a customs offence. The Health Minister, Mr. Minta Kando, who was present at the port, expressed deep concern over the rising misuse of pharmaceutical drugs and called for stricter monitoring and enforcement.
Per our rules and regulations, per our laws, there are only 2 areas, designated areas, for the import and export of medication or drugs, if you like. The TEMA port and the Kotoka International Airport. Drugs are not imported through our land borders. And therefore, I encourage all the stakeholders, all our security agencies, to confiscate any drugs, even if it is paracetamol, and it's going through our land borders. So the law is clear. We are not going to reinvent the wheel. In fact, we are also looking at tightening our regulations regarding transit goods, because usually they hide behind transit goods.
Officials expressed worry that such shipments are often diverted and find their way into the local market, where they are abused by vulnerable groups, particularly young people. To prevent this, the Food and Drugs Authority has announced that the seized consignment will be immediately disposed of under strict supervision. A joint operation at the TEMA Harbour.
On February 12, 2025, the Office of the Special Prosecutor declared former Finance Minister Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta a fugitive from justice for failing to respond to an invitation to address high-profile corruption investigations. During a media conference, the Special Prosecutor, Kisie Jabin, announced that Mr. Ofori-Atta was a wanted individual and must return to the country for questioning on cases involving the National Cathedral Project, Strategic Mobilization Limited, and other matters. In response, Mr. Ofori-Atta's legal team informed the OSP of his medical condition and provided an expected timeline for his return to Ghana. A statement released by the OSP on Monday morning acknowledged a lawsuit filed by Mr. Ofori-Atta contesting the declaration that he was a fugitive. The statement also revealed that Mr. Ofori-Atta had formally requested the removal of his name from the wanted persons list, assuring the OSP of his availability for questioning on a specific date. The OSP granted his requests in good faith. As part of this arrangement, the OSP has mandated Mr. Ofori-Atta to appear in person on June 2, 2025. The statement warns that failure to comply will result in his relisting as a fugitive, the issuance of an Interpol Red Notice, and the initiation of extradition proceedings in any jurisdiction where he may be located. The OSP emphasized commitment to upholding the law and ensuring accountability, noting that Mr. Ofori-Atta remains the prime suspect in 5 ongoing corruption investigations. Meanwhile, the former Finance Minister, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, has filed a lawsuit against the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Kisie Jabin, accusing them of unlawfully declaring him a wanted person. The suit, filed at the Accra High Court on Thursday, March 13, 2025, is seeking compensation and a declaration that the OSP's actions violated his fundamental human rights.
Two major parameters that we look at for when predicting got to do with the international benchmark price and the stability of the cedi, or what we call the forex. In the past months, we've seen the cedi hovering between 15 to 16 cedis, but stabilized. And the good news has to do with the fact that the Plat and Argos for the past 2 weeks and going forward in the future sales market has also been coming down. And that's the reason why we expect to see the same impact at the pump price level. So the prediction of the percentages that we foresee got to do with what the international benchmark prices are, I would say, contributing to, and also the effect of availability of forex for sales. That will obviously affect the landing price for the BDCs to lift.
Major General Emmanuel Kutia is ramping up efforts to boost border security and local economic growth. Major General Kutia outlined the Commission's plans during a meeting with Minister for Local Government Ahmed Ibrahim, emphasizing the need for Ghana's borders to foster development, not create barriers. As part of these efforts, the Commission is advocating for local economic development initiatives in border communities to promote cross-border trade and economic integration.
We are confirming our land boundaries, and as a result of that, we are even increasing the number of boundaries along the international boundaries. So apart from the main pillars, we're introducing what is called intermediary pillars. So the intermediate pillars, you will see that they are in between the main pillars and probably a distance of 500 meters apart.
On his part, the Minister for Local Government, Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim, mentioned the importance of collaboration in addressing border-related issues and ensuring that communities along the borders benefit from government initiatives.
We are quick to create constituencies, quick to create boundaries, without taking the districts, without taking serious consideration on how the Statistical Service, the Electoral Commission, the Lands Commission, the Survey Department, and all those things will be able to delineate the clear boundaries. We are going to provide facilities to help manage our boundary.
The visit marks a renewed commitment between the two parties to improve border management, prevent disputes, and promote regional cooperation through local economic initiatives. For GBC News, Yaira Lawa reporting.
The fire reportedly started around 12:15 p.m. on Sunday. Eyewitnesses say they saw flames emerging from one of the classroom blocks before spreading. The senior house mistress, Madam Hannah Otabel, said no one was hurt in the incident.
The room in which we are standing in front, we have 42 students. And the other two rooms that are partly affected, one is 15 and the other one is also 42. But in those rooms, it's not everyone that is affected. So we are talking about 80 students for now. Some of the students have lost entirely everything, from mattress to school uniform. So our doors are open. We know our parents can support, but we are telling everybody, all stakeholders, to help us, to come to our aid.
The Ghana National Fire Service, GNFS, has assured the public that an investigation is underway to establish the cause of the fire.
We have to find ways to contain it so that we don't record mass damage. So unfortunately, whenever there's fire, there's bound to be some damage. So one dormitory at the top totally damaged or totally burnt, and two of the other dormitories has been partially burnt.
Meanwhile, the school's authority has assured parents and guardians to remain calm.
Local Government Minister Ahmed Ibrahim's courtesy visit to Muslim community leaders in Accra was to seek the Chief Imam's blessings for his ministry work. He praised the Chief Imam's leadership and donated 20 bags of rice and 20 bags of sugar on behalf of President John Mahama, who received gratitude and prayers from the Chief Imam. Minister Ibrahim extended support to various Muslim communities, donating to the Al Sunnah wal Jama'ah Muslim community, Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission, and Shia Muslim community. He mentioned the importance of collaboration between Muslim leaders and the ministry to promote respect and religious tolerance.
Excellency, the President recognized the role of God, or the God factor or the Allah factor in governance, and therefore he has tasked the ministry to establish or institute national prayer and thanksgiving service for our Muslim brothers and for the Christian brothers. And we were tasked to establish a task force where all the Muslim sects will be represented in establishing or instituting Muslim National Prayer and Thanksgiving Day, and where all the Christian or Christian institutions will also be represented in establishing a task force for the National Prayer and Thanksgiving Day for our Christian brothers.
Minister Ibrahim urged collective efforts to eliminate insults from political discourse, promoting a more respectful and united society. For GBC News, Yaira Lawebi. The visit by the team from the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons follows a recent shooting incident in the area on February 22 during the installation of the Development Queen Mother, Laurentia Bole Nelson, which led to her tragic death. The suspect, Samuel Ejie, was arrested, charged and remanded into police custody to face trial. Speaking at the meeting, the Acting Executive Secretary Dr. Adam Bona said the Commission had embarked on a nationwide sensitization campaign to drum home the need to end the proliferation of small arms. The visit, he said, also serves as a platform to stimulate the passage of the arms bill in Parliament. Dr. Adams Bona further announced the Commission's plan to introduce a gun marking system with appropriate labels to deter unauthorized private gun ownership.
Our work is to ensure that we collaborate with other security agencies, pending the passage of our bill into law, which we hope will happen before mid-year this year. Advice to Ghanaians is that if you have no need to own a firearm, don't own one, because it could fall into the hands of bandits, could fall into the hands of wrong persons, and they would use it against you. If you think you have the need to do that, you can always call on us. We will be able to advise you with regards to the right way of acquiring weapons.
The Gbobuwulomo Shiche Numbo Bokete Lawetru was concerned about the growing trend of land guards in protecting lands and property. He described the practice as unlawful and called for collaborative efforts to end the practice.
Yabua Suyama SHS in Insuta, established in 2011 and absorbed by the government in 2013, has long suffered from infrastructure neglect. With 800 students and only 12 classrooms, the school relied on an uncompleted hall for dining, assembly, entertainment, and exams. The recent rainstorm destruction has exacerbated the infrastructure deficit, according to Headmaster Abdullahi Khalid Kofo.
In 2020, the community decided to put up this particular facility for us as assembly hall and also as a dining hall. But you see, because of money, at a point, they couldn't continue. and it was just standing like that. But at the same time, we're using it. Though they couldn't finish, but we're using it. We're using it as a classroom because we're having classrooms under it. Our weekly, teachers' weekly PLC sessions, we're having it there as entertainment hall. At the same time, too, we're using it for examinations, both WAEC and BC and our end-of-term examinations. So now that we have lost this particular facility, in fact, we're in serious trouble.
Mr. Kufuor appealed to government, NGOs, and FBOs for support.
We're appealing to everybody to come and help us. Everybody. So, in fact, without it, even when school resumes, now we are in vacation now. That is even our luck, because if students were to be here around that time, it would be a different story altogether. But now we thank God, students weren't here. But when school resumes, even where to get classrooms for the students and other activities will be a problem. So we are appealing to the authorities, the government, the minister, the Director General, and as the Assembly, everybody to come to our aid to help us to reconstruct this particular building.
The staff common room was also destroyed in the rainstorm. Officials from the Techima South Metropolitan Assembly and Ghana Education Service have visited the school to assess the damage. Samuel Ayama, GBC News, in Suta.
Holding a clinic to commemorate World Kidney Day at Enyinem and the nearby communities in the Obuasi municipality of the Ashanti region was to encourage people to check their health status while making primary health care accessible and affordable. Even though they screen for eye, dental, X-ray, HIV and AIDS with pharmaceutical services to cater for ailments such as malaria, the focus was on screening for kidney health. It was highly patronized, with those diagnosed of the disease referred to the Anglo-Gold Health Foundation, the main referral hospital in the entire Dansi traditional area, which covers 5 administrative districts and municipalities in the Ashanti region. The Ghana Health Service and the Otumfuo Osei Foundation, among other organizations, supported the screening. Stakeholder and Land Management Superintendent of Anglo-Gold Ashanti is Mr. Emmanuel Massey.
Afi Anglo-Gold Ashanti, eba momodin apa, ayaresabia ahodoɔ ho ntoma ɛwɔ emiamia bi a afrɛ sɛ yɛhyɛ aseɛ yɛsi ayaresabia wɔ hɔ no mo. Wodi w'ani kyerɛ dochiwa ani bi nsere mpɔtan mu a ayaresabia wɔ hɔ no afi mu yɛbɛpa ho ntoma. Wodi w'ani kyerɛ epitikoko nso a chips compound facility a Anglo-Gold AC wɔ hɔ no nso yɛbɛpa ho ntoma. Yɛsan so ɛde yɛni bɛkyerɛ akɔkari na Omo Health Center na ɛwɔ hɔ no yɛtrema bɛmu theater facility a yɛyɛ ama ɔmo no so. A
physician specialist at the AGA at the Anglo-Gold Health Foundation, Dr. Suleimana Swabil, disclosed that about 20% of its admissions are kidney-related diseases and expressed worry that 1 out of every 10 persons is aware of his or her kidney health, a situation that requires serious public awareness creation.
About 340 of our patients in a year have one form of chronic kidney disease. When we go for regular screening, we watch our lifestyle, we reduce our alcohol intake, we reduce how often we take certain medications, especially the painkillers, the common one being diclofenac, brufen, etc. We exercise frequently, we eat a well-balanced diet, we quit smoking, we take our health into our own hands, are some of the ways of preventing kidney diseases.
An assistant director at the Obuasi Municipal Assembly, Mr. Henry Yeboah, citing the untimely death of his former schoolmate from kidney failure, advised the people to take their health seriously and seek periodic checkup for early detection.
This committee's work is very critical to the socio-economic development of this nation. Ghana, from the time of our independence up till now, realized that culture, chieftaincy, and religious issues are very critical to our development. Most advanced countries have been able to do it because they paid particular attention to their culture, to their traditional leaders, and to religious issues. and there are many countries that we can mention. Typical is within the Asian region, and we are happy that the Parliament of Ghana, in its own wisdom and with the new standing orders that has been agreed on, has created this specialized committee to make sure that we pay particular attention to chieftaincy issue. We know it's very sensitive, it's silent, but it has a huge role to play in our national development. So we are excited that this committee is not going to be one of the quiet ones or the dormant ones. In all, we are a 17-member committee.
As we've all heard, the name of the committee, Chieftaincy, Culture, and Religious Committee. We are not going to be an armchair one. We are going to work hard. We already know, we are aware that we have a lot of chiefs, and that is where the beginning of leadership comes from. Even minus parliament, leadership will be with us. We have the chiefs, we have the queens, we have the elders, we have our other traditional rulers who are not, people might not even see them in the limelight. Our religious leaders, the chief imam, the churches, traditional worshippers, as I may call them, and so many other groups. We are going to make sure we get in touch with them.
The event, held in partnership with major players in the tourism and food industry, attracted chefs, restaurateurs, food vendors, cultural enthusiasts, and policymakers who in diverse ways promote Ghanaian gastronomy. There was an array of 68 local dishes marking Ghana's 68th independence anniversary.
When the police service meetings, they will never go off duty. They will take with color soup. And the indigenous safety associated them. It's a Zuzu. Everybody's present.
Notable celebrities including Ochiame Kwame, Joyce Blessing, Mr. Beautiful, Ankla too, among others, exhibited their culinary skills when they competed in the cooking of the popular dish, jollof rice. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, highlighted the importance of eating local foods.
Because it's Ghana's Heritage Month, we are celebrating 68 at 68. 68 meaning that we are displaying or exhibiting 68 Ghanaian traditional meals, and also celebrating 68 years of Ghana's independence. At display, we have so many meals here. So what this young lady is eating is meals straight from the farm. This is what we call organic meal, healthy, full of rich fiber, and all the rich minerals are in here. So Ghanaians, learn to eat our food. Let's celebrate Ghana. We can only celebrate Ghana by eating Ghanaian food.
The Deputy Executive Secretary of Ghana Film Authority, Mr. James Gardner, highlighted the importance of the event.
Well, I feel it's very important for everyone to identify with their roots. You have to know where you're coming from, and part of that is what you eat, its origination and what it makes you. I feel like as a Ghanaian, you can't bypass that. So we have to take pride in what we eat and make sure that we sell whatever we eat. Not only that, but since this is about Eat 68 at 68, we capitalize more on that. A lot of the feedback that I get with people from diaspora or friends who come outside is that they are actually in love with our food.
With the success of Taste 68 at 68, the Ministry of Tourism and the Ghana Tourism Authority reaffirmed their commitment to using food as a tool for cultural diplomacy and economic growth, and make Ghana a leading destination for food tourism in Africa and beyond.